People want to change in America, and a change is desperately needed. However, very few people are talking about how to make that change happen. And I'm going to present that there are three things that if we refocus our efforts toward and really fight in these three areas for reform, we can change a lot. The first thing is education. We have to embrace education. We have to understand our rights. We have to understand how this system actually works. And the only way to do that is to educate yourself. Read the Constitution. Read the Federalist Papers. Heck, read the Anti-Federalist Papers. Understand what rights you as a natural born citizen of the United States are entitled to. Second, we have to refocus the way we view representation. Representation was very important to the Founding Fathers. That's why there was so much debate. There was war over representation. However, now we forfeit this right every single day. People in power work to stay in power. And the only way they can stay in power is if they're voted in. And if you don't vote, then it's okay for them to pander to corporations because the corporations are giving them the money to pay for their campaigns to get the same people who voted them in to continue voting. If you want power, if you want representation, you must vote. But we have to change our attitude toward representation. This is why our platform is looking for opt-in voting. Countries who have opt-in voter registration experience significant increases in voter participation. We need to change the attitude that future generations have toward voting. Also, we need to make voting easier. It's a shame that a person who is so bogged down with work for big corporations can't actually go and exercise their right to vote. I'd argue that corporations or companies that employ a certain amount of people should be registered polling places, just to make sure that the people working for them have access to voting. However, we shouldn't have to sacrifice our livelihood to exercise this right. There are things that can happen within the system to allow this to work. Finally, we have to change our attitude towards civic engagement. We need to create organizations, if they don't already exist, like the Rotary Club, like the Lions Club, the Kiwanis, ways in which people are able to engage in their communities and come up with civic solutions to their social problems. Civic organizations are important because they bring people together. There's something called contact theory, which basically states if people have access to somebody that they don't normally have access to, the ways in which they're normally intolerant toward that person begin to go away because they learn that person, they learn their ideologies, and they begin to understand that there's a lot more commonalities exist between them that they didn't know exist before. Civic organizations are perfect ways to get people within the community engaging and understanding each other. These are the most formal ways of breaking down intolerance and any discrimination that may exist. Understand that we have the freedom that we have because of the people who fought previously for changes. The Civil Rights era, many of the advocates during the Civil Rights era never got to see the fruits of their labor. They never got to see the Voting Rights Act passed into law. However, we've been able to use the Voting Rights Act to expand our rights to vote. But we forfeit these rights every single day. If we fight for subtle changes now, then future generations will be able to enjoy more freedom, more representation, and more liberty as is promised in the U.S. Constitution.